Summer's getting closer. The temperatures outside are kind of starting to feel a little like summer. So pool season is here once again. And listen, you know this, drowning is the leading cause of death in children ages 1 to 4. So we're going to talk swimming safety this morning. We've got Tony Guillory with us. He's from the YMCA of Greater Houston. He's the association executive director in charge of aquatics. You got a big team under you.
I do.
Thanks for being here, Tony. Good morning.
Good morning.
Pool season, huh? Here we go,
Yeah.
once again. I feel like when we talk about pool safety, we bring up the statistic about drowning being the leading cause of death in young children because each and every year, we can't say it enough, tragedy unfortunately will fall on some family somewhere. And we brought you in now to talk about maybe ways we can avoid it.
So we can avoid it. We can have formal swim lessons that you can start off at ages 6 months to go up at least to 80, 90 years old.
Right.
So that means enroll in your classes and swim lessons and have a swim instructor who can teach them how to swim. But also realize that drowning is also the second cause of leading death from kids 14 and under. So that's a big age group.
It's near the top in all of those age groups. So when we talk about preventing drownings, preventing death at a pool or any body of water, I feel like there's two parts to it. One is the teaching of the children to swim, and then the other is teaching the adults to be aware. Is that fair to say?
That is fair, because you have, often enough, you get parents who go to the pool and really don't pay attention. So if we can have the parents or caregivers, they can be water watchers, make sure you go to a pool that has lifeguards that can watch your kids as well. But also, just because you have lifeguards doesn't mean as a parent you need to stop watching your kids as well. So that means not reading books, staying off cell phones and things like that.
Yeah, or as you said, maybe a designated, what did you call them, a water watcher?
Yes.
Very important.
Someone who's watching.
It's like we have designated drivers when we go out and party. You have designated water watchers when you have the kids. Do these rules apply to any body of water?
To any body of water, yes. So from swimming pools to open water like lakes and things like that, because we get teenagers, so the biggest area now from teenagers 15 to 17 is the most dangerous areas in open water because they go out there on boats without life jackets and things like that. So you really want to make sure that you have a life jacket that's Coast Guard approved and want to make sure that you never swim alone.
Do you think in terms of swimming alone, is it more dangerous in those open bodies of water than it is at a pool, do you think?
I think it's about equal. I mean, they both can be dangerous without the right supervision, but open water could be a little bit more dangerous because you're dealing with rip currents, which means it takes you out and you're swimming against the shore, which means you think you're swimming to the shore, but it's pulling you out even farther.
Right.
So it can be a little bit more dangerous because now you're in a whole body of water that's open and you're not enclosed.
Right. Does the instruction change though, regardless whether it's a pool or out in the open water? I mean, when we teach young children the early swimming lessons, it's pretty much the same across the board. Survival techniques.
Yes,
what are
it
we
is pretty
teaching
much the same.
a 6-month-old or a 1-year-old? What are they learning
So
exactly?
A 6-month-old, really at that point, is really comfortable in the water, but at that point, they're able to flip themselves over and float on their back, which is a big part of surviving because they're on their back, so they need to breathe. And the 1-year-old, and then as we get to the 3 to 5, we talk about more so water safety than swim lessons. It's really in case they fall into water, they can pop themselves up and get to the side and at least yell for help at that young age.
Interesting. So I've always thought of this in stages because a 6-month-old, you're not really communicating with words. It's just the repetition and their bodies eventually learn.
Yes.
And at what point can we really get into true swimming lessons where you're mastering the water?
3 years old. 3 years old.
Okay.
You have to remember, with 6 months, they're in the pool with their parent or adult. So they're not by themselves, but they're in the pool with the adult who can guide them on what to do.
Yeah. So at the Y, how does this work for families? What different kinds of classes do you offer? When do you offer them? Who's teaching them?
Certified swim instructors, YMCA USA. We train swim instructors. They're at all centers, and anybody can take them. So we offer swim lessons year-round. It's not just the summertime, it's actually year-round. And they can start from 3 to 5, which is parent-child, which means the parent's in the water with them. Then we have preschool, which is 3 to 5. And then we have youth, which is ages 5 and up to 11. And then teen and adult from 13 and up. So all different categories.
Is there a recommended amount of time? Is it like, if you're going to start a 6-month-old, you got to do a minimum number of lessons before they really get a hold of what they're learning or what the instincts are supposed to develop?
So it just depends on the individual, but our classes run typically a 2-week session of total of 8 classes. Sometimes they can be repetitive, sign up week after week, but it just depends on each individual because each individual learns differently. So can't really put a time frame on it, but my suggestion is always enroll them until they get to the place where they need to be to save themselves or be able to survive in the water.
Do you get more interest this time of year with summer coming?
Yes, it actually starts right around March where all our classes start filling up. Everyone's coming in. They want to put their kids in swim lessons in the summertime. They're getting ready for vacation.
Right.
They want it the shortest, quickest possible time, but typically now is the time that they really sign up for swim lessons.
Okay. Where can people find out more information if they want to get involved and find a Y near them and maybe sign up for the summer?
They can sign up at our website, www.ymcahouston.org, and click on the locations nearest to them.
All right. Tony Guillory, thanks for coming in and talking about
All right,
this.
thank
Very important. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Have a great summer, too.
Thank you.